Hey everybody, Leo Dess here with the Access Control Executive Brief. And again, we're live at ISC West at the AI Discovery Zone. We're bringing this sort of conversations with Lee here to the show floor. The AI Discovery Zone, 10 companies that are here for, just like it sounds, to showcase and have people discover how AI is impacting the security industry. One of the 10 companies is LVT, and I have Steve here with me as a participant in the AI Discovery Zone. So Steve, thank you very much for taking the time to be here, as well as just in the overall Discovery Zone.
Yeah, glad to be here. Thank you for having us.
Thank you. So if you don't mind, introduce yourself, your background, and then tell us a little bit about LVT.
Yeah, so my name's Steve Lindsey. I am the co-founding partner of LVT. My background is in electronic engineering, computer science. I've had a lot of experience with embedded system development. I've had 3 different companies that I've owned before with embedded systems. I actually never came into the security industry until 2017.
Right.
My background is mostly in enterprise cloud computing, and so when we approached the problem that we were solving for with a mobile security unit back in 2017, without any security background, we really approached it from a cloud computing perspective, right? So the architecture of how the system works, all of that stuff really just came from a different mindset. And what we found was that it was kind of a fresh idea to the industry.
Right.
People hadn't seen that before. And it allowed us to have the agility we needed to solve some real problems. So LVT was a company that started in 2005. It was to live stream video in outdoor rugged environments,
Okay.
which was a pretty ambitious goal of ours to undertake. It was always going to be a subscription business, which meant that we had to provide the equipment and the service, maintain it, right?
Yeah.
So what it caused us to do was to really invest heavily in scalability, in agility with various IoT devices. Because we're outdoors, we had to rely on no infrastructure.
Right.
So no power, no communications. And so we developed a lot of technology, had a lot of patents, everything around how do you cellular connect a camera at the most cost-effective way possible.
Okay.
How do you power systems off solar panels with the utmost reliability when Mother Nature doesn't want to cooperate?
Sure.
How do you deploy these across large geographies and manage and maintain them at scale?
Right.
And then how do you have the agility to do all of that? And then all of that buttoned up with cybersecurity, right? These are devices that are on public cellular networks, cloud services, and we had to put in best-in-class practices on how to cyber secure all of that. So that foundation of differentiators is what really set the stage for us in 2017 when we introduced the first mobile security unit. Now, to understand another differentiator that will lead into the agentic AI, we were one of the first companies to kind of break the paradigm of sensor detects something, send an alert to a human,
Right.
and human responds.
Yeah.
In 2017, with our mobile security unit, we introduced automated deterrence. So that had this escalation capability. And that's what really changed how we think about things. So with agentic AI, it just takes that to a whole nother level. And that's what's really exciting and what we're introducing at this show.
Thank you. Can you talk about what is that level?
Yeah. So when we think about automated deterrence, it was kind of a pre-programmed script,
Right.
right? And it was really based off of person detection and object detection. What agentic AI is allowing us to do using large language models is now we understand behavior and context.
Right.
So an example of this would be, let's say somebody's laying down. That's a behavior.
Right.
But what if they're laying down next to a tree versus laying down under a car?
Right.
We care about the car in context, the tree not, right? So the detections mean something different now to us. Right. Now that feeds into the agentic AI engine, and now it has to decide, what do I do with this?
Yeah.
And it starts with detection. So again, we don't want to have that alert go to humans. We want it to think, okay, what can I do about this? So now we move more into a generative AI capability. So that context that we have is, what is the person wearing? What do they have on them? What are they doing? Where are they located?
Right.
We can use all of that context to generate on the fly a custom talk down to them that tells them, hey, you with the blanket wanting to sleep over there in the corner, don't do that, right?
So the actual tower talks.
Yeah, it actually talks to
I
them.
got it. So
yeah.
it picks it up. But,
Right.
Okay. So it's almost like it went from if this then that to if this then that with context.
Oh, yeah,
Is that okay, that's a
exactly.
good way of looking at it?
Yep.
Okay, I got
Yeah, and we believe this is just the beginning because obviously, as we put the beginning in place, there's certain use cases we're solving for, right?
right.
But we can build upon that now, and eventually, what we see is this is going to be a very interactive system that understands life-threatening situations, customer service type situations, physical security type situations, and it can adapt itself to everything that it needs to do in real time. So,
Yeah, and so I'm interested in we talk a lot about the enterprise software industry impacting our industry,
mhm.
and it's historically has not. Frankly, it's been a hardware
Yes.
business, right? And software is like a feature of it. Now, software is the thing, and hardware is a feature. In a way, it's a bit like yours, but you solved the problem, the mobility problem first.
Yeah.
Why did you apply it to security? Because I could have thought. I'm sure there's a
Yeah,
hundred
we
different ways
kind
to
of
go.
got pulled into it.
Okay. Yeah.
Like we
Welcome to the security industry.
yes.
No one ever intends to be here.
Yeah, we started off with
By
just
the way, you'll
live.
never leave now. We go.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
We started with live streaming video. We did a lot of work with Department of Transportation, and they would literally just point at the ground and say, "I need a camera right here." They don't care if there's no connectivity or power or anything, right?
Yeah.
So that's what we were solving for.
Okay.
But as we started looking at different use cases of permanent installations, mobile installations, we started having a fleet of different ways of deploying that. So that's where the trailer came into play. I mean, we're never going to claim that we were the first company to put a camera on a trailer, right? Plenty of companies doing that, but the technology that accounted for power efficiency, for self-healing of IoT devices, that really help with that uptime, for the cellular connectivity and the cost savings of that, and then the security that's needed from a cybersecurity perspective
Right.
to protect those connections, like all of that came out of that live streaming experience. And then customers were saying, "Hey, well, can we put a camera over here and will you provide security?" And for the longest time, we were like, "No, no, no, we can't do that." And we knew that motion detection wasn't really a reliable way to do it. But as soon as we started seeing that we could actually use AI for identifying people and vehicles reliably, and then we added that automated deterrence on top of that, then we were like, okay, yeah, it makes sense to go into this space. And we literally just jumped into the pool. Like 2017, we were like, all right, we're all in. Let's do this and see what happens.
Okay.
So yeah, it turned out well for us.
And
So.
is there a particular vertical that's outside of the government side, or that you're seeing adoption in, or are you focused in government?
Yeah, government is one that we're getting into. One of the unique things about our architecture is I keep hammering the cybersecurity component of it, but like we pass all the very severe security assessments, and we're starting to get into the FedRAMP approval process. So as we work through that process, eventually the government business will probably build. So we still service that industry, but we still are primarily in like big box retail, quick service retail, or other small form factor, critical infrastructure, transportation. So I don't know. We see all of those industries growing because they all have the exact same problems.
Yeah. No, I mean so. I can think of it like the towers that I see at like large parking lots where they need, as well as I've seen them a lot in like construction sites or
Yes.
like that. Okay,
Yeah.
so I got that. So I guess as you are coming into this industry, I'm curious on your side, what's your sort of as you reflect on what you see here as an industry, because really you're coming in now into this, it's sort of at an inflection point, right? Like I believe soon we won't be having conversations like AI is not a discovery zone anymore. It's sort of like, it's not like we don't have cybersecurity discovery zones anymore,
Yes.
right? It becomes part of it. So how do you view the industry coming from the enterprise software side into it?
Yeah, well, I mean, when I first came into the space, it was kind of shocking that, kind of how behind the industry was from a technology perspective. I believe it's catching up very quickly, right? And I think it's going to pretty much be on par with a lot of the business enterprise systems that we see and cloud platforms. So it'll happen. I think we're going to see a change in how we think about delivering solutions to customers as solution providers.
Right.
I think we have a long ways to go still on on-prem systems that are what I call cloud enabled versus cloud native.
Yep.
right? So we're going to see that adjustment happening, but I think those things are just going to happen. But what's going to really change is the way we think about physical security as processes and procedures and what problems we're solving for. The tagline I like to use like right now is the industry needs less alerts and more results, right?
Yeah.
And that's kind of going along with what I was saying. We just need to be it'll cause us to change how we think about technology and then really start applying technology the appropriate way in business. And that is, as an executive, technology has to make my life faster, more accurate, or less expensive, right?
Yep.
And if it's not solving for those three things, business professionals, they don't want to talk to you. So I think as security professionals, we got to learn how to speak that language. We got to look for those value and ROI in those ways, and that affects the way that we approach the job, right? So the process and procedures will also change, and we'll start looking at technology as force multipliers of our human resources instead of just technologies or single point solutions. If that makes
We
sense.
talk about it that our industry's been set up to like keep bad people out. And
Yes.
lock and unlock, especially from access security. We'll just primarily keep people out.
Right.
And it's now being asked to do much more. 'Cause
Yeah.
it's utility. Like it fundamentally delivers a great value.
Yes.
But it's the expectation is completely changing.
Yeah.
Whether it's
And-
operational efficiency.
Yeah, and the interesting thing on top of that is there's a lot of parallels between cybersecurity and physical security.
Very
It just so happens that cybersecurity is kind of, I would believe, ahead of us.
It is.
But when you think about how cybersecurity looks at problems, it's very much identity based,
Yep.
right? And it's very much looking for the anomalies of what normal is versus not, right? And it's able to analyze all of that in context. And I believe physical security is right on the coattails of doing the same thing.
I totally agree with you.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I could do this all day. If people want to find out more information about you and the company, where's the best place to go?
Yeah, so our website is lvt.com.
Pretty easy.
My email address is simple. I'm steve@lvt.com.
Very nice.
Happy to talk to whomever. I love to talk and learn and exchange thoughts. So yeah, feel free to reach out.
Well, thank you for taking the time. Thank you for being part of the Discovery Zone.
You bet.
And I look forward to learning more.
Excellent. Thank you.
you.